Kameron Jane, welcome to the show, Jane and the Killer Queens. One of my favorite new bands in town. I got to be honest. I love you guys. The two singles you all put out so far, Gun in a
Oh my
Church,
gosh, thank
The Hand That
you.
Feeds You, great songs. You guys are a relatively new band, right? I was trying to do
Yeah.
some research on y'all. How new are you guys?
We're extremely new. We officially, a couple weeks ago, we actually sat down and looked at our first rehearsal, and I think it was the second week of September
Oh,
was
wow.
like our official like first rehearsal as a band.
That's
So we're
crazy. So not
babies.
even a year old. That's wild. Okay. Right on. So how
Yeah,
did the
not
band
even
come to
a year
be?
old. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a few months. Because you're from Ohio.
Um,
Where's the rest of the band from?
so I am from Dayton, Ohio. Our guitarist, the Duke, is from Atlanta, Georgia. Shipley is from Pennsylvania, and Anthony is from Chicago. So we're kind of from all over. None of us
Nice.
are Nashville locals. We're all
I love that.
transplants.
All transplants. How'd you guys meet?
Yeah. We met through the Bowie's jams downtown. I know, rest in peace, Bowie's, because it's no longer
Yeah.
around. It closed on New Year's. But I was going to the Bowie's jams like every Wednesday night, the ones that, Rob Talton was leading, and just kind of ended up hanging out with this group of musicians. And it originally was me and Alex and Anthony. And we started kind of jamming and having a few little like jam sessions at Anthony's house together. And we were like, you know what? Like, this is actually kind of working out. The stuff that we're writing is doing good. Like, we should probably look into bringing a bassist in and like making this an official band.
Yeah.
And then that happened like early September, and then October 31st, Halloween was our first gig.
Oh, no way. What was the first gig out on Halloween?
It was a house show, which is now I found out they're turning it into like a series of like mini like music festival things. I think the next one is St. Patrick's Day, but it was called the Undead Disco, and it was headlined by the Criticals.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so we were, reached out to by the organizers of that, and they were like, "Hey, you're a new band, but we know you, and we know that you've been singing around town, and we trust you, and we trust the musicians that are behind you. We kind of want to see what you guys can do if we throw you on this opening spot for them."
That's
And it was super
awesome.
exciting. We were kind of shaking in our boots a little bit.
That's kind of the way to do it, though, just diving straight in to a cool show because criticals are huge. I imagine a lot of people are there.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a ton of people there, and, thankfully, I already knew Cole and Parker, and they're awesome guys, so it wasn't necessarily that I was nervous about, being around them or opening for them because I knew that they were cool and professional and, like, the kindest people. It was more like having that many people at our first show because I know that that's not the norm for a band starting out in Nashville. Most people I know, their first official gig was, like, 6 people in, like, a dive bar. So having our first show, like 150 people, like packed into this tiny little venue on Halloween was like terrifying, if I got to be honest.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It gives you guys some clout, though, to start right off in the city like that. That's awesome.
A little bit, just a little bit.
One thing I also love about your band is one thing I see very common. Obviously, I know it's very popular to do the whole TikTok thing nowadays. I feel like everyone I know that starts a new band, they're doing the whole thing where it's like, point of view and they have a microphone like in a field and they're running around and stuff. I love how your band is doing a kind of grassroots. Like you guys are playing tons of shows and you're playing a lot too. You kind of juggle the Broadway scene and then your own original band scene. How do you juggle those two things? They're so different.
It's a little nuts. I gotta be honest. I don't get to spend a lot of time at home. A lot of times my day looks like, from like 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m. I'm like out on Broadway, like doing multiple shifts, and then I'm like running to rehearsal or running to, do a show with these guys. But I kind of like it. It kind of keeps me on my toes. It keeps me vocally in shape. It keeps, my body in shape. I like not having a ton of downtime. So it's not as difficult to juggle as you would think because I enjoy constantly having something on my schedule.
Yeah. You moved to Music City to do music. What year did you move here, by the way? How long have you lived in this town for?
I've lived here since October of 2022, so about a year and a half. And I have to be honest, I did something really stupid and I moved down here with absolutely no plan.
Okay.
I originally was in school to be a neurosurgeon, and
Oh,
like
wow.
5 years into school, I'd always had this love of like rock music since I was like 12, 13 years old, and it had always been in the back of my head. And like 5 years into school, I was like, I'm miserable. I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, mom and dad, I'm moving to Nashville. I'm going to do rock music like I've always wanted to do. Like, let's just see how it goes.
How'd they
And
take it? What'd they say?
um, you know what? This is why I love my parents. They have not had the reaction that anybody would have ever expected. Most people would have thought that they would have been like screaming, crying, like kicking me out of the house. My parents were like, you know what? If you're serious about this, let's do it. And they like helped me pack up the U-Haul, find the apartment, and like got me down here. And they're in town right now for our show that's happening tonight. They come down at least once a month to visit me and like watch what I'm doing. Like they've been the most supportive parents I've ever heard of for a musician that like dropped everything and moved to Nashville. So I
Yeah.
not the response I was expecting when I said, "Hey, I'm not going to medical school. I'm gonna go try to be a rock star."
That's incredible. Yeah, yeah, because you're right. Most parents have the opposite reaction. That's amazing.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right
yeah.
on. I love it. We're talking to Kameron Jane of Jane and the Killer Queens on the local buzz right now. I want to bring this up too. It is, I guess this didn't happen this month, but it is the month of Valentine's Day, the month of love. I saw a video of you playing a show where a guy in the crowd proposed to you in the middle of a set. And when I first saw it, I thought it was your boyfriend and it was like a real thing. But what exactly happened? And was that a real proposal? That was hilarious.
That was not a real proposal. I did not know that man. I haven't seen him since. I don't even know his name. We were doing a show at the stage. I was called in just last minute to sub for a vocalist that had gotten sick, and this guy, like throughout the set, had been like blowing me kisses, and I was having a good time. I was blowing him back. I love to flirt with my audiences through
Yeah.
shows, and somebody had requested "Love Story" by Taylor Swift, and it just so happened that like at the end of the song, there's this whole part about like he knelt to the ground and pulled out a ring, and this guy like saw his chance and he came to the front and like knelt down and like pretended to propose to me, and I took it.
Oh,
And
wow.
I didn't know his friends were videotaping it, and they sent me the video the next morning. And every once in a while his friends will reach out to me and let me know that like that's still a video that circulates around their friend group, and it's like the talk of their trip to Nashville. They were all from Europe.
Okay. That's
So
amazing.
I'll
Some of
probably
the
never see him
states.
again, but
Yeah, that's the best kind of love on Broadway. Just a one-time thing, and you never see him again. I love it. Well, Jane, since you're
yeah,
here, we gotta play the 5 random question game. If you'd like to play, shall we?
let's do it.
All right, 5 random questions. Kameron Jane on the local buzz. Have you heard of this new app? It's called the Intro app. You
I've
familiar with
not.
this? And so it's
No.
like Cameo, basically. You can request like one of your favorite bands, but it's an actual video call, basically FaceTime with a band that you love. I imagine it gets rather expensive for certain artists, but I wanted to ask you if you could have one free intro app conversation with any band, who would it be? Price is no option.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, I would love to have a one-on-one with Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's actually on there too. It might be possible. There you go, Lizzie Hale, if you're listening. Question number 2 with Kameron Jane on the local buzz. What are 2 bands just off the top of your head that made you want to be a musician?
Hailstorm and David Bowie and the Spiders from Mars.
Nice. Love it. Question number 3 with Kameron Jane on the local buzz. So, in honor of Valentine's Day, you could have a custom Jane and the Killer Queens candy heart. What does it say on it?
Oh goodness. Gosh, it would probably our mascot is or like logo is like the spider, so it'd probably say like Spider Queen or like Bite Me or something.
Oh, I love it. There you go. See, I would buy those. That would get me back into those for sure. Question number 4 with Cameron Jane on the local buzz. So, you're about a year and a half into living in Nashville. What is your least favorite thing about living in this city?
The traffic.
Fair
Oh my
enough.
gosh. I hate having to add another 15, 20 minutes than my GPS says. I'm constantly late to everything, and that I'm highly anxious. I hate being late to everything.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
trying to
literally
figure out
everywhere you go. Side roads, even. It used to be just the highway. Now it's like a side road is backed up too. It's
I'll take
ridiculous.
that's the thing. I think I'm being smart by taking a side road, and everybody took the side road. Now I'm still 30 minutes late to where I was going, and I thought I had to be early.
Absolutely. Question number 5 with Cameron Jane of Jane and the Killer Queens on the local bus. So you could have any tour. We're talking 70 dates, direct support with any artist alive or dead. But when you get back from this tour, the deal you made to get the tour is that you have to drive a pedal tavern for a living down on Broadway for an entire year. Do you take this tour?
I'm taking the tour. I think I would do good driving a pedal tavern. I feel like I have the
Yeah.
personality for it. I feel like I
Absolutely.
could make some good money. I could play some good tunes while I'm driving the pedal tavern. I don't think that'd be a bad deal at all.
Yeah, there you go. And if somebody, it's like somebody proposes to you, you can just kind of swerve and they fall off the pedal tavern. It's genius. It
Yeah,
is
just leave them
genius.
behind. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fun anyway.
What would the tour be if you don't mind me asking? A bonus question. What tour would it be? What artist would it be?
Oh
Alive or
gosh.
dead?
Like who would we be opening for?
Yeah, what's the tour you take that deal for?
Gosh, this is probably The Cure.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Okay,
I
yeah, right
love
on.
The Cure. And I feel
I
like,
can totally.
our like dark kind of groove, I feel like we'd be really good on a bill with them.
Absolutely. I could totally say Robert Smith and you guys open it up. I love it. Well, Kameron Jane, honor to have you on the show. Go check out Jane and the Killer Queens now. Brand new single, The Hand That Feeds You, out everywhere. And I will see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me on.